Hey guys, this is Yasir Saeed, and today we're going to be proceeding on a new lesson, which is 5 things that you can do on a daily basis in order to improve not only just your English vocabulary and communication skills, but also become a fluent speaker in the English language. So without further ado, let's move on. Alright, so the first one that we've got is watch TV shows. A lot of you people may not notice this, but TV shows are perhaps one of the most interesting things that can happen to Asians like us coming from non-native speaking backgrounds to improve our English language. Why? Because TV shows are designed in a way to not only they improve your English language, but they improve your overall confidence, body language skills. TV shows use rich English, and when I say rich English, it means a lot of new words, idioms, vocabularies, and I specifically meant TV shows because I'm not here to talk about the movies. The reason why I'm not talking about movies is that movies use more of slangs, and movies are designed to finish within 2 to 3 hour limit. The seasons and TV shows, for example, Designated Survivor, House of Cards, Game of Thrones, Flash, any series that you particularly like, make sure that you go ahead and watch it. Turn on the subtitles. Make sure to highlight every single word that you think is a new one that you learned that day. Write it down and notice the meaning for that. If it is possible for you, I'd strongly suggest to buy the $10 or $12 monthly Netflix subscription. It is such a big pain in... It is going to be an extremely easy job for you to learn English if you have a Netflix subscription, because it is an ad-free platform where you can watch TV shows from almost all countries in the world. And I'm suggesting focusing only to English TV shows from US or the UK. When are you watching the TV shows, make sure that you observe the body language of the actors, the way they react, the way they change their tone, the way they change their pitch whenever they're talking. You'll notice slow pitch to high pitch whenever they're showing their levels of interest or whatever they're saying. So for example, you won't find someone saying, "I like this thing, I want to do it right now." It means that, you know, they're quite angry at it. But let's suppose if you're angry on something, you won't and you don't shout, it means it doesn't make sense. So if the actor is angry on someone or something and they're shouting in the TV show, it means how anger and fury is related to a high tone of voice. Make sure that you understand the body language of these actors. Also observe the change in the tone and pitch as to how these actors talk with each other depending upon the circumstances and situation. Make sure that the titles, as I said before, turn on. Since now that you are here on YouTube, make sure that you watch some documentaries, especially by David Attenborough, who is an award-winning, knighted by the Queen, an English narrator from the UK. He is 80 years of age, and he's an expert narrator when it comes to BBC's series on planet Earth and animals. He uses colloquial, and extremely beautiful English language, and you'll get to learn a lot of new phrases, words, and idioms and phrases from his narration. Make sure to watch videos on YouTube from BBC, Channel 4, CNN, Sky News, Al Jazeera English. All of these employ people that have extremely great command over the English language when it comes to speaking, listening, reading. You can watch shows like Conan O'Brien, The Late Late Show, The Late Night Show with Jimmy Fallon, The Late Night Show with Jimmy Kimmel. All of these shows, when you watch them with the subtitles turned on, help you in improving your English language drastically. Moving on, we've got reading newspapers and books. I don't know how much can I stress enough on this topic. There is no other best method to improve your English language instead of reading the books or newspapers. I mean, there's just no substitute for it. Well, TV shows is great, but then again, if you don't read something, if you don't read a book, if you don't read a novel or a newspaper, how really are you going to improve your English language? TV shows are great, they're excellent. But reading, there is seriously no match for it. So where I belong from Pakistan, So I can go online and read the articles of newspapers from different newspapers such as Dawn, Express Tribune, we've got Daily Pakistan, we've got Dunya Online. So we've got a range of these websites. If you're from India, you can read NDTV Gadgets. You can read Hindustan Times. So when I try to say read newspaper, I mean that you should go really in depth in reading editorials and reading the columns, and then you should go about reading topics that interest you specifically. It could be sports, could be business, could be international politics. All of these are important, not just to improve your language, but also uplift your common sense, your knowledge about what is going on in the world. It's important to do that. And another advice that I can give you when it comes to reading is improving your English language skills by reading a novel. You can read a short story, you can read a novel, but novels are the best because they have, number one, novels have the best source of English vocabulary. Number two, they have the most difficult terminologies, idioms, words, phrases, and grammar that is not easy to understand in the first place. Number three, good novels by good writers, exceptional writers like J.K. Rowling, we've got Charles Dickens, we've got Sidney Sheldon, a whole loads of others. They have a captivating story. These stories, they suck you inside and they keep you addicted from the front till the beginning. If you've never developed your reading habit, for the first few days, reading a novel or maybe even reading these newspapers online, it's definitely going to be a challenge for you. Keep that in mind. Let's be realistic over here. It is going to take you a few days to overcome your fear of reading. And then when you are in there practicing it, you'll notice after a few days that your interest has started eventually to develop with the passage of time. And you start off by reading hardly 5 pages every day, and you start reading 10 pages. Why? Because there's such a captivating storyline that keeps you hooked. These are the novels that keep their audience, their readers hooked. They suck in their audience because they want you, these authors want you to know what's going on from page to page, and you're curious to know about that. That's the reason you read the entire novel in maybe a week or two, or could be maybe a month or so. And in the passage of doing so, you learn a whole lot of English language terms, for example, new words, you learn grammar, vocabulary. Make sure that whenever you are reading something, write down from the novels or even the newspapers, write down the sentences or anything new that you learned. Make sure you Google it and you know the meaning of it and write that down, because that way it's going to be memorized. At the end, all of this helps in boosting your grammar, vocabulary, and idioms. Moving on, number 3 is speak up. Did you know that the second biggest fear, the first one is death, the second biggest fear in the US, among the US citizens, is public speaking. I don't know how can I stress it enough that in order to improve your speaking and become a better speaker, it is important that you speak up. If you only keep yourselves limited to reading, writing, watching TV shows, and if you don't speak up, trust me, all of these activities are of no use. The best salesmen, insurance agents, real estate agents, we've got real estate call center agents. What skill do they have? They only have one skill, and that is speaking. They know what to speak at what time with the person and how to rebuttal. They have the right words. You know, it's always about the expression. When it comes to speaking, it's not exactly about what you say, but more specifically on how you say it. So for example, if I'm telling you, if you are serving at or let's suppose if I am talking to someone who is a waiter at a restaurant, and if I say, get me a glass of water, it's rude. I won't say it's vulgar, but it's not appreciated. So let me change the tone. Excuse me, Mr. Sam, can you please get me a glass of water? I'd really appreciate that. It's basically the same thing that I've said. I'm thirsty. I need a glass of water to quench my thirst. But then again, using the right terms, using the right expressions, your right tone, all sets the scene. and you get the work done like that. So if you are good at speaking, you can literally do anything in this world. Um, Inability to speak clearly has a huge impact on your personal and professional life. So when you get a job, you start doing a job or you develop your business, if you don't know how to talk well with your employees, with your colleagues, with your customers, you won't be able to generate any business. You won't be able to even survive for a day in this cutthroat competitive world. The only way to improve speaking is, of course, to get rid of your fear and face it. And the only way to face it is to get a partner with someone and start speaking. Could be your spouse, your friend, family member, could be your class fellow, could be anyone. Spend anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes on a daily basis. I mean, don't think that you're not perfect or you need to perfect everything. You need to perfect your English language. You need to perfect your speaking skills to speak up. Nothing is perfect. No one is perfect. I am still not perfect. It's been almost 15 years I have been studying. I had studied in American high school. I've studied for nearly 4 to 5 years in American high school. I've done my bachelor's and master's, and I still don't consider myself to be a perfect. I'm a learner. I keep on learning. I keep on reading. I keep on speaking. There are many new things that I learn on a daily basis. If I don't consider myself to be an expert, why do you have to consider? There is literally nothing wrong in overcoming your fear. Make sure that you speak up. So when you're speaking, you'll notice that for the first few days or weeks or even months, there will be several spelling, grammatical errors. Notice them down. At the end of the day, observe what you have been speaking and learn from the TV shows to know the exact pronunciation, the right expressions. Try to imitate and copy them. That's an excellent way of improving your speaking skills. Next up we've got is writing down on a daily basis. Now, whether you learn anything from reading, by speaking, by listening, by watching TV shows, the moment you learn a new word, sentence, or idiom, jot it down. The moment you write it with your hand, not just type it, write it with your hand, it will help you to remember it. Keep a track record of the words you learned on a daily basis. Know their meanings, Google their synonyms, antonyms, write them down, and make sentences with it. It is so important to know that you got to know a word with its meaning as well as its antonym and use it in context. Just knowing the word and its meaning actually has no use. You can literally open up the dictionary right now and start learning from A to Z. But then again, what's the point? Why are you wasting so much time if you're not learning how to use these words in the exact context? Last but not the least is keep writing. Practice writing. In the first few days, weeks, when you properly practice writing, you'll notice how terrible and poor your handwriting is. But then as you move on, you'll notice your handwriting speed as well as clarity both have improved. Keep a diary with yourself and on a daily basis, jot down your thoughts, new things that you've learned. Topics such as my life's hardest moments, or today was a happy day for me, or for example, topics such as your birthday, the gift that you've given to your spouse or your family member, or anything that has happened for that day. Try to jot that down. Write it in an essay format. This helps you in improving not only your essay writing skills for maybe upcoming IELTS or English examinations, but also improving your English language. Last but not the least is learn the difference between formal and informal writing. You should know the difference, how to write an email, how to write a letter, how to send an informal memo, how to write an SMS or WhatsApp message. You might not know it, but you'll be surprised to realize that there is a huge amount of difference when it comes to writing an email to your head of department and when it comes to sending a message to your friend. The right tone, the right words, they all matter. The way you write, the words you use, the expressions you're using, everything sets a definition for it. So that's it for this video. I hope that you've really liked and enjoyed it, and I promise you'll keep on uploading more videos. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon as well for more interesting videos. That's it for now, and I'll keep you posted. Great day, and I'll see you around.